Printing checks is a sub-process of the accounts payable workflow, the send check to vendor process. The cloud-based environment of NetSuite lets me print out checks and forms as needed with ease. A check has been issued and ready to pay a vendor, Acom Business Solutions. As an AP clerk for Sweet Dream Suite Furniture, I'll show how the check can be quickly printed out in NetSuite. I'll also briefly discuss other printable forms that are associated with the AP clerk role that can be found in the Check and Forms page. Before I navigate to the Checks and Forms page, I'll change to an AP clerk role by going to the Role drop-down menu and selecting AP clerk. I'll navigate to Vendors, Accounts Payable, then Print Checks and Forms. Alternatively, I can select the Checks to Print link in the Reminders portlet if it's configured. To know more about customizing your Reminders portlet, you can refer to the Help Center or Suite Answers for more information. I've been directed to the Print Checks and Forms page, a list of links for checks, purchase orders, mailing labels, and item labels, and payment vouchers can be seen and accessed in this page. Depending on your roles and permissions, you may see more or even less links populate this page. As my AP clerk role, I can see these 5 here. While I will be showing you checks in detail, I'll still run you through the other forms to give you a glimpse of their overview. These forms can be printed individually or in similar grouped transactions. Note, almost all of these forms require Adobe Reader as a plugin to view their print previews. So I'll start with the first link here, Checks. The Print Checks page opens. In the Account drop-down field, I'll select the proper account connected with the check I need to print. Selecting different accounts in the field will display queued checks to be printed in the table below. I'll select the 1000 operating account US 1, where the payment for Acom Business Solutions transaction is currently filed in. For check transactions designated to be paid by bill pay, these are not printed outright. These checks need to be approved and sent to Metavante FIS for processing. Metavante FIS is a financial services processing company that handles the check processing on behalf of NetSuite. After I select the account, the first check number field is populated. I can easily edit the check number field if a specific check number is needed. By default, NetSuite will insert the next available check number to be printed. Right now, it's labeled 8700, indicating that this is the next number assigned in the queue. I'll check the Print Back to Front checkbox to ensure that the checks are printed from the highest number to the lowest number designation. Next, on the Check Type drop-down field, I can specify whether to process a voucher or a standard check. A standard setting prints 3 checks on an 8.5 by 11-inch sheet of paper, while the voucher setting prints out a single check per page with the voucher information at the bottom. The check forms can be customized if needed. The customization feature can be accessed in Setup, Customization, Forms, and Transaction Forms. A role needs to have the proper permission to do so. It's also important to remember that customized check forms display only the check layout regardless of your preference, and that the elements editable are the standard check elements in the form. So for this particular check, I'm going to select the standard form. I'll tick the check boxes for checks with Acom Business Solutions as its designated payee in the list. The last check, numbered 8701, that is lined up to be printed is displayed in the check number field. The first check number field and the check number field provide a quick reference information on the set of checks selected to be printed. With all things in order, I'll click on the Print button to start the printing process. The Check Print Preview opens in the PDF viewer. Note that users who do not have the Adobe Reader plugin installed will open the Check to Print Preview in the HTML browser instead. If I'm printing the checks now, I should verify that the proper check is loaded in proper order on the selected printer. I can select the print icon here to directly print from the file preview. Alternatively, I can choose the Save icon and save the PDF check preview at my local drive and print it later. Now that the checks are printed and ready, I'll navigate back to the Print Checks and Forms page to preview the other forms listed here. I'll dive into the Purchase Orders form. So purchase orders authorize vendors to provide items, materials, or services to the buyer. When that purchase order is entered, it tracks the items expected to be received, that were received, and items yet to be received. The Print Purchase Orders page has a location field where I can select which warehouse the purchase order is coming from. It also gives me the option to indicate the type of form transaction that can be printed. The Allow Reprinting option permits previously printed orders to be called up and printed again. Printing purchase orders and other forms follow the same process shown in the Printing Checks section. I'll head on next to the Mailing Labels link. The Print Mailing Label page enables me to print mailing or shipping labels for customers, vendors, partners, employees, or contacts. I can specify the category of the entity here in the Type field. There's also an option to indicate the number of labels to print, at what number to start. Note, you can print 1 up to 500 labels at a time, individually, or queued as a group. Next, I'll select the Item Labels link. This directs me to the Item Labels page. In this page, I can specify and print labels to fixed items. Labels can include the stock keeping unit, the SKU item number, item price, or the item barcode that may include the serial number barcode and serial numbers. Note that a user role must have the item's permissions set to the edit or full level to print barcodes and item labels. The Item Type field has the added option to print labels of items that are not generally sold on sale transactions. The item label can be printed via 4 layout options, with the standard layout following the Avery 5263 label layout. NetSuite can support other layouts but need to be configured in the Setup, Customizations, Transaction Form PDF Layouts page. It's important to note that once the Print button has been selected, a pop-up message stating that data entered on the page has not been saved and will be lost. Pressing OK on the message prompt will resume the printing process. This is normal by system design. For a more detailed discussion on printing item labels, refer to the Help Center or Suite Answers. Finally, the last one on the list is payment vouchers. Payment vouchers give detailed information about the payment sent to a vendor for bills payments made. Note that some remittance information for payments against many bills may not fit on a single check voucher. In such cases, it's recommended to print a separate voucher page that includes all of the remittance advice, which can later be sent as an expanded voucher page to the vendor along with the check. The Print Payment Vouchers page has the location drop-down field to indicate which warehouse the voucher is coming from. The Form drop-down menu lets me choose between the standard form or a customized layout. The layout can be edited by going to Setup, Customization, Transaction Forms. Vouchers automatically queue in a list to print separately if the check type is set to standard, or if a payment includes more bills than what will fit on the voucher check. There is also an Allow Reprinting option here for calling up previously printed items. Refer to the Help Center or Suite Answers for a more detailed discussion in printing payment vouchers. Note, if the multi-language feature is enabled, it is possible to choose different languages for printed transactions and see item names, descriptions, and expense categories in the language selected. However, only system-supported languages are supported on printed transaction forms with pre-translated word strings for general terms. Additional languages that are available as company preferences are not supported for printed transactions forms, but they are supported for website translations. In this topic, I was able to show the process of printing checks and give a brief overview of the other forms available in the Checks and Forms page. That concludes our topic in printing checks and forms. For more information on printing checks, a step-by-step quick reference card can be downloaded. You can also visit the Help Center to know more on the topic.